Hey guys, today is a movie review. The first movie that I'll be sharing with you guys is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the one that came out just this past year. And this movie is about Mikael Blomkvist, who is a journalist, and Lisbeth Salander, who is a computer hacker. And they both find each other and start working together to help solve the disappearance of Henrik Wenger's niece. And as they search for answers, they also uncover dark secrets from Wenger's family. The filming of this movie is really fantastic. I love the color, which was just really beautiful, and I especially liked how they transitioned from past to present. It was really easy to know when you were in one or in the other, and it was just a wonderfully job. This movie is actually based off of a book, if you did not know this, and for me it's really rare for me to really be satisfied with a movie that is based off a book, especially one that I have read. And I was actually surprised how well I liked this movie because of that, and I think that they did really well in keeping, at least to the major parts of the book, they kept very close to those main points. Though there were times when they did veer off, and I had a little bit of issue here and there with it, but overall it was wonderfully done. One issue that I had with this movie was the beginning of the movie. They did these really cool special effects, animation type stuff, and I really liked it, and I thought maybe it was like a dream or something. I was looking for the purpose of this animation, and there was none at all. They did it, and then it just went right into the movie, and you're like, okay, maybe they're gonna do some kind of symbolization with it. But overall, there was none. There was none at all. So I didn't really understand the purpose of them doing that. But that was like one of the only issues that I really had with this movie. When it comes to the acting, I really loved Mikael and Lisbeth in this movie. I had really fears toward Lisbeth. Mikael is a very generic character, I feel. The guy who played him did a really wonderful job. But Lisbeth Salander is a very unique character, somebody with a complicated personality, and that persona that you get from this person from the book, you really worried that they wouldn't be able to get somebody who could take on that persona and really become her. But I was really surprised, and she was just really perfect. I felt like everything from the clothing, the way she looked with her facial features, everything was just really perfectly done. I thought they did a wonderful job with that. The music was really unique for me just because they didn't use a lot of music. It was very scarce in the movie, and I was like really happy to actually see that, because this book is a very tense, dramatic book, and I think that music tends to give you clues, a lot of clues to what's going to happen, and I think it was really cool that they brought up the tension and the excitement and the drama just by not using any music, though they did use music at certain times. So the grading, I gave it a 19 out of 20 stars. The next movie is Footloose, and I am going to be comparing both the original and the new together. So Footloose is about Ren, who moves to Beaumont, and he finds himself in a town that has pretty much put dancing against the law, and he stands up against the Reverend to abolish this law. The original and the new are very, I think, different when it comes to the filming of this movie. I really liked the newer one better just because there was more color, more energy, more excitement out of it. The older one was filming wasn't as good. The quality of the movie wasn't as good. It dragged a bit. Both are really good movies. I must say that they are both good. But I had issues with the filming. I thought that the quality in the older one was poor, whereas the newer version was much better. When it comes to the acting, I think Kevin Bacon and the guy that plays Ren in the newer one, both did really good jobs playing this character. I said they both did really good in enveloping this character and becoming them. With Ariel, though, I actually liked Ariel and the older one better just because she seemed more likable, not so irritating, because I really found the Ariel in the new version very irritating to me. Also, the dance scene in both movies, I actually did not like the dance scene in the older version just because it didn't really feel like dancing to me, though it was, in that time, a different style. The newer version actually put a lot more dancing than I feel, or at least it felt like a lot more dancing, so I really appreciated that in the newer one. Also, the newer one changed some, well, one major fact with Ren. He moves to Beaumont by himself. His mom's dead and his father abandoned him. And the older one, his mother moves with him to Beaumont, but the father abandoned them both. So I didn't really understand why they changed that part of the story. Also, there were parts where I felt like they changed certain parts of the movie, which I think that's really good because they actually needed to make it different in a sense. So it was really good to make it its own story. But I was wondering, like, was it too liberal to change that whole part with the mother? So I don't know. So I give both of these movies a grade of 18 out of 20 stars. The last movie that I'll be sharing with you guys is The Adventures of Tintin, which is about a journalist named Tintin, and he gets an adventure when he starts searching for answers about a ship with a mystery behind it. I really loved the animation from this movie. It was so detailed and artistic and just really colorful. I really loved how it almost felt like you're right in the movie with how well they did with it. The translations were also really good. I just loved how it was so unique and different from a lot of other animated movies. The music was very vintagey. Maybe that's the wrong word to say, but it was old time type classic, really beautifully done. I loved it. The story also was just a really fun movie. It ran smoothly. I didn't feel like there was any issues with the story itself. I thought that it built upon itself really well, and it made you become a part of it as it went. The acting is another story in itself. I loved the acting in the captain and all the other people, but when it came to Tintin, I had really major issues with him because at the beginning you see him and you see he's living on his own, he has a job, and you think, okay, he's an adult. But then you hear his voice and it's like he sounds like a kid. My issue with animation is, like, if you're going to make an animation, you need to make sure that the voice sounds the age that you're making this character to be. So if this character is really an adult, he really should have an adult voice, and he sounded like a kid. Half the time I was really confused. So that really, took away from this movie for me because I was trying to decide if he was a kid or if he was an adult. So that was one major issue for me. So the overall grade that I gave for this movie is 18 out of 20 stars. Well, that is it for me. If you watched any of these movies, tell me what you thought of them. And until next time, peace out.